yesterday. Nothing exciting, man. That's the unfortunate reality. I wish there was more to offer. I truly do. I didn't even do that. I didn't even take a pool down. You know, you're right, but still, I'd like to at least try and throw my hat in the ring every now and again. Let's see. And then DraftKings logo. So we also have this shit here with YouTube that I think we got around. So it's only going to be like a one time. No, we've been, but the problem is we have a show it's going to be streamed now on a pretty. I don't want to say now on the stream live, but it's going to be streamed on a pretty big local platform, and we're supposed to add some elements to it locally, but on the actual stream itself, it's going to be the whole show. So YouTube keeps knocking shit off because of this whole copyright stuff. We welcome you back in case you were continuing to stay off for whatever reason on a Labor Day Monday, enjoying it. All the power to you. Squeeze out an extra day as much as you possibly can in this crazy, bizarre 2020, especially if it means starting. I love that, to either start the week late or end the week early. There's nothing better than the 4-day weekend. If you can squeeze the 3-day weekend out, then some people prefer Friday just because it's easier, more stuff's going on. But remember, it's almost like, would you rather have 2 Saturday nights or 2 Sundays? And that's really what Labor Day, and if you're able to just down to getting time off on a work week and taking that day on a Friday, let's say, you're really left with that decision, right? And I think a lot of people, maybe younger people, and I say younger is 42, so I'm probably square in the middle of a lot of ears right now. But I would think that if you really looked at it and thought, yeah, you're going to still get a day to rage. You're going to still get time to go out. If you're off Friday, you still have Friday night. You have all day to recuperate Saturday night. So it's not like you have to work on Friday. But then if you go hard those 2 days at nights and you're still in your college mentality of just wake and whatever that form would be after, pound, bake, drink, whatever, then you're going to get at least an extra day, like Monday, to recuperate. You go out, you run all those errands you should have done over the weekend. I'm just saying, it's a very underrated decision. Not a lot of people think it out because I'm just going to start my weekend early. You go to work on Friday, just pound the day out. Next thing you know, you're enjoying Friday night even more. It tastes so sweet to know that you have that extra day. You do whatever you want. You could stay up all night. Imagine that on Friday, and it won't even hurt you. You ever see something in sports and you just know how this is going to end? We have that in the NFL and this bizarre story in D.C. next. No problem at all. Mm-hmm. But you jump right in, yeah. So I heard you. I got you. So you guys were back today, right? Tony was yesterday, but now both of you today. Nice. Full house. We thought Jake, it's funny, we played a little Tony, Jake, or Aton just with like one question because it was so bizarre to me that of all three of us, Jake would be the one that would be off. Does he really? Hey, good for him. I'm just saying, he's close to the station. He loves to work, and God bless him for it, right? No, nothing wrong with that by any means. Um, oh, so the thing about YouTube, real quick, they're gonna kill everything as far as all the beds. So I have a guy who I have like a bunch of original shit. It's all pretty much like, modern hip hop sound. And I'm just going to send them to you, and whatever you like is fine. There's nothing specific or at all. But it would start next week because unfortunately with this stream, it's a big source of eyes and ears technically on the show locally. And it basically gets us on in Philadelphia locally. But it's the easiest way to get around YouTube, taking down every show because of 20 seconds of a rejoin that you guys already pay each year for with ASCAP and BMI. It's ridiculous. Does that make sense? All right. I'm sorry to put that on. I mean, it's one day of just putting in music. And it's all instrumentals, so you don't have to worry about anybody saying anything. Everything is an instrumental. I mean, theoretically, I could cover it here, but then it's just the rejoins that kills us. Like that. Even though I love it. I don't know how to get around it. Well, no, but you can swap them out, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all. So one thing that pops right up on today's radar in the NFL, and yes, it is 2 days away. Pretty big line for the Chiefs to cover against the Texans. We'll look a little deeper at that and some more bigger picture futures with Andy Benoit from Bet Online and definitely get his insight into a couple of teams specifically, like the Saints, who I'm fascinated by just as far as their win total and that division, some changes around that division versus the consistency with New Orleans. But this comes out, I guess, late last night, so it's being discussed today. And I think that it's a perfect representation of how you can still be in a major market and forgotten a lot of the times. The NFL has done something so special in its own right that I don't think any other league, and maybe I'm wrong, and you can always interact, inject your own thoughts, and call me an idiot for whatever reason. Ron Culver does all three of those things very tactively, throughout the show. But when you talk about specifically what the NFL has done with market size, you don't need to have a specific number next to it in order to get props and coverage and be discussed in the NFL and really general sports circles when we talk about at large, at least how popular this league is. But it's something that I don't think comes to mind, really, where you can be in, and again, it's hard for you to understand this because a lot of you have probably never seen this team good or truly competitive, at least year in and year out. But you can be in Jacksonville, and if you're running the table at 12-4, 13-3, if you have a good year, you're going to be talked about regardless of how small of a market and how little people may be paying attention outside of that nucleus of fans. It's a football story now that and it's plastered everywhere. It's talking heads on radio, TV, writing about it everywhere. Jags this, Jags that, any moves, anything going on we should know about, injuries, coaching, whatever's going on, off the field stuff. All of a sudden, that spotlight is so broad. Yet it works both ways. And I think there is this assumption maybe after all of that where you can be bulletproof in the NFL as far as, well, you can be in a small city and just do okay. Yeah, but it works the opposite as well, where you can be in a gigantic market and fly just under the radar enough to be kind of forgotten, kind of just discarded, brought up when your division clearly is being brought up, and usually an afterthought as a result of, well, yeah, it's really just between Minnesota and Green Bay. I mean, Detroit's out of it, but really, I mean, you're going to give the Bears much hope there? You're going to give the Bears much opportunity there? And that's kind of the limit in which you get the discussion surrounding the Chicago Bears, which, again, is more a representation, and rightfully so. I mean, it's as communal of a system as possible here with a little sprinkle of capitalism where you still have the same cap, you still have the same things hovering over you as far as restrictions. But if, in fact, you outperform your market size, you will be rewarded and then some. But, and then there's that relegation element to it. If you are Chicago, for example, and you continue to provide barely adequate seasons to inadequate seasons, barely over the radar to just flying under the radar, you get forgotten a lot. You get thrown right there in the middle. Well, a lot of parity in the NFL. You're part of that conversation. You're part of that right there. The Bears actually are I would think, probably going to get more pub going into this season than throughout until they make the change. But again, as I said in that short opener before we ended the segment, you can see this coming. You can see it right down the line that it's only a matter of time before there is a change in Chicago. And look, I don't know what happened up close and personal. A lot of people don't. It was really difficult to get any type of read on preseason because there was no preseason when it came to games. And you didn't have anything as a result of truly gauging what media was giving you as well. But there are certain markets where it doesn't matter so much, but maybe just because that team has been good so long. And if they are bad, it's a small little blip in the radar. But again, if it's going to work for Jacksonville, imagine what it does for New York. Imagine what it does for Philadelphia. Imagine what it does for Dallas. Imagine what it's doing for Las Vegas this year if, in fact, the Raiders can put together a good team. Really good squad. Look at the Eagles, for example. They've made the playoffs 3 straight years. They have a Super Bowl victory in there. Of course, they are going to be discussed, especially because that division has a kind of hard line between the top 2 and the bottom 2. Although, and this is to the Giants' credit, they look like they may be at least straddling, if not fully crossed that line coming into this year. They could win 8 or 9 games. Sure, at the expense of Dallas or Philadelphia, but that is a reality that we would not be talking about with Washington. And just like when we've seen in so many years with either, and it's usually the Giants, of course. Sorry, Jake. But it's usually the Giants who are dominating the headlines and dominating the city when it comes to who's a better football team. That is going to be like Jacksonville on Mark McGwire level steroids. We've already seen it, as I said, play out. Boston, same situation as Philadelphia, except you add, like all of the championships and appearances and popularity of Belichick. So you start to add. Chicago is on the other side of it. And they make news because they announced that Mitchell Trubisky is the starting quarterback. And I can tell you this, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before they make that switch to Nick Foles because Trubisky is just not that guy. He's not the guy that they continue to rely on, economic reasons or not. But it's the same mistake that they continue to make over and over again. And I'm not saying that Nick Foles he's not anywhere near what he did in that small run to help the Eagles win the Super Bowl. He's not as bad as what we saw under Jeff Fisher. He kind of straddles his own line, if you will, of performance. But this is it. They are so entrenched and indebted to this pick that they made that they can't budge from it, that they can't refuse to acknowledge. You'd have to think that it's ownership at this point. And despite even Trubisky being better than Nick Foles, it should still come as a message somehow that Nick Foles starts. Well, we brought in Nick Foles to compete for a job he wanted. And I'm not even advocating for Foles for anything personal. It's just, my goodness, you are going down the same exact path. Right down to, you can see your footprints. It's like going on a hike. Well, I wonder how many people have been here since last week. Oh, look, there are my same size 9 New Balances. Same shoes right there. You're going down a hike. It's so nice and pleasant when you're hiking up a mountain. It's not when you're going down the same lane of misery, naming the starter as Mitchell Trubisky for another year, basically damning yourself to missing the playoffs and more ridicule around the NFL. That's what's happening right now with the Chicago Bears. They have lost so much touch. They have lost so much ability to be that topic of conversation. And so much of it is the ridicule that surrounds continuing to go with Mitchell Trubisky. Ryan Pace, the general manager, says that Trubisky has a, quote, different presence that carried him throughout camp with improved footwork and accuracy. They open up as a 3-point dog against Detroit. Now, Detroit, healthy Matthew Stafford, we know that they're going to throw the football left and right. How do you not take the Lions at this point? There is so much just inconsistency. Trubisky is the representation more so than the only person, the only culprit. But how do you go down this road expecting to come out of the season, come out of the blocks with anything strong? You're going to get beat in Detroit. Fans or no fans, it doesn't matter. Lions are going to throw, especially if they're able to score. Now, all of a sudden, you can't rely on a 13 for 21 day or a 10 for 22 day from Trubisky, where he doesn't throw a touchdown, he doesn't throw a pick, but damn it, he was good enough. He was just good enough. I mean, it's crazy to see this thing play out. At Shander Show, twitch.tv/Shander Show. First 3 weeks picks, lock it in. You talking about Trubisky? First week. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. Burrow's baby boy tweets in. Trubisky's first week, 3 picks. Lock it in. I'm telling you, I know that the Lions lost big Darius Slay. We're happy to have him here in Philadelphia, but they're an improved football team from last year. I can't say that they're marginally improved or that they've dramatically taken this huge step, but they're a better football team than last year. The Bears, on the other hand, are just more the same, you know what. It's just shoveling it again and again. How many times do you want to taste that over and over again in the form of, well, it's packaged differently. We've packaged it differently this time. The product has a brand new presence. The product has a, quote, different presence. This bag, this sack of you know what, sure, it might have the same aftertaste, but we've changed how it tastes going down. It's in a different bag. It's in a different package. It looks like juicy fruit gum. This is what we have with this reality of the Chicago Bears now. Every single season that they have just circled their wagons around Trubisky. And I agree with Triple B up there. Trubisky's in trouble, man. Big trouble. And this team is as well. And they lost an opportunity. If Chicago can put together a 10, 11-win team, if they can do something like that, then all of a sudden they're going to get more publicity. They're going to get discussed more. They're going to be more of a story than either Aaron Rodgers or the Minnesota Vikings. They're just waiting for Chicago to come in and sweep in and be relevant again. And for odd reasons, they're not. That wasn't even the craziest thing that happened in sports, as I don't know how much of you are aware of this. We'll touch on this coming up. Again, Andy Benoit's going to join us at 11:40 Eastern time. But this story was pretty bizarre coming from Major League Baseball, where, and I was trying to figure out the last time this has happened, but Mike Rizzo was tossed out because allegedly he was not wearing a protective mask to the game, but Joe West says Rizzo's ousting actually occurred because he's been shouting at umpires over the course of the last 2 games. So somebody, I think, started an internet rumor about the mask claim, but instead it had to do with Rizzo berating these owners. Good for him, or these umpires. Good for Rizzo. Half of these guys need to be replaced by machines anyway, as far as the strike zone is concerned. While shouting insults at officials, I'm reading this here as far as the report is because West was quoted saying, "Enough is enough." Oh, poor Joe West. Rizzo's commentary stood out because there were no fans at the game to mask his verbal barbs. West says, quote, "We're in a pandemic situation. You can hear everything he says." And then, of course, West has to throw in his own political injections of his own. This is bizarre, but of course, it deals with Joe West, who I don't know how many people are going to take Joe West's side on this. At Shander Show, 800-224-2004, twitch.tv/Shander Show. Ron Culver is back, and I have a question for him coming up that doesn't have to do with Tony, Jake, or Aton. It's the Second Level on SportsMap Radio. There's no audio from West, is there? I didn't see it. Okay. So Andy Benoit, I'm going to text you his number, okay? No. They specifically say don't say that. Do you know Jimmy Shapiro? It's not pronounced that. Oh. I didn't know if you knew that. How do you pronounce it? Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness. That's great. Dan's great. Yeah. Right. Oh, my goodness. And Dan never says anything? 11:40. I booked him. So next segment. Yeah. All right. So trying to figure this out here. We're back. We're back. Okay, so Ron Culver is back with us today, and you were off. All right, well, fair enough. I mean, you are. Well, this is okay, but you have you can be a perfect, what would you call it, guinea pig? Hamster?
Yes, guinea pig.
Guinea pig. Does that work?
Not a hamster.
Not a hamster?
No, because you want me to be a guinea pig.
Right. But isn't it the same? Like, what's different besides a couple of internal organs?
Well, one's smaller than the other.
Is it? I don't know. I'm asking you. I assume that you, as a father, have to know the difference between the two, right? Isn't that like, don't you need to answer that question on the multiple choice before you have kids?
What's the difference between a hamster and a guinea pig?
I'm sure you've been asked that question, right?
Of course.
Okay. Well, I don't know. That's
Actually,
why.
Not really, because I mean, a guinea pig is about 3-4 times the size of a hamster.
Really?
Yeah, they look kind of similar. They have a similar color, but yeah, guinea pig is huge.
My goodness. Okay. I didn't realize it was that big like that. Now, my question is, well, what it was? Oh, yes. As far as the guinea pig, the hamster, that threw me off. But you can be the perfect guinea pig for this because you have taken both a Friday and you just came off that Monday.
Yes.
Would you have rather had the Friday off and be back yesterday, or worked Friday like you and I did, but have that extra Sunday? Like, you probably didn't do anything on Sunday. Treat it right.
All weekend I was doing stuff. So
really, you took down a pool. You did a lot. Like, I'm very impressed with your weekend. People need to know. People on the stream need to know about this. They, any misconceptions about you going home and playing video games for 8 hours or 9 hours a day.
I don't have time for that. Who has time for that? I got 3 kids that keep me active, keep me busy. If I'm not throwing a baseball outside or playing trains up in our loft area, then I'm doing stuff around the house, whether it's cleaning or what have you.
My goodness, this is not work. This is a terrible advertisement for kids. We're trying right now, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is what I have to look forward to, is never having a second of free time again, right?
Yes.
Is there any other way you can spin that?
No, there isn't. Apparently,
oh my goodness,
I've been told that it'll be this way until I'm 18, or not till I'm 18, till they're 18. But as I've noticed, my friends who do have college-age children, it doesn't end there. That it just continues to keep on going.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Man, it's just a harsh reality that hits you over the face.
Yeah, but to answer your question, because you said, would I rather have Friday off, come back to work on a Monday?
Like, I would rather, that's what I said at the start, is I would rather have a Monday if I had to choose, and maybe it's just because of the point I am in my life right now, whatever, but I would rather have that extra day to do nothing, recover, just whatever it needs to be done gets done, as opposed to rushing into the weekend and having an extra, you're either going to have an extra Friday night or an extra Sunday, and I'd rather have an extra Sunday.
No, that's how I felt. I'd much rather have an extra Sunday. I thought it was kind of fun Sunday night, feeling a little bit tired, but we're all settling down as a family, watching a movie together, and then just realizing, like, oh, I can stay up a little bit later because I don't have to get up in the morning. I can sleep in if I want to.
Right.
And that was kind of fun.
It's amazing, man. Isn't it? You get that extra. That's what you get. I think you put it there perfectly, which is you get the extra day of all the little stuff. The little stuff that you either don't get enough of or maybe you took for granted before you had kids, right? Like a little sleep, a little more peace, a little more time to get something done.
Honestly, as they get older, as my kids get older, the little thing, like the extra sleep, starts to come back a little bit. Like my 2 older boys, they don't come. They're sleeping until like 10, 11 o'clock now. It's kind of nice. It's the younger one who wants to get up, but he's been sleeping in a little bit more as well. So that's, it's usually my dogs who are waking me up saying they need to go outside.
Is that right? Okay, so the dogs are still
they're the pain.
Yes, that's with me too. Like the dog is definitely still on the same schedule. I'm just curious.
Heavy breathing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
You know what's coming. The bark, like the loud bark for me.
If I ignore you, then I can't get mad at you for having to clean up that mess.
Well, I
better wake up and just let you go do it.
Is that a reality for you where if you don't do anything, like
for one of my dogs, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely need to get on that.
If
you neglect.
Yeah, she's been good all night long. This is our trade-off.
Okay. So, yeah, that's unfortunately for you. That's the bargain that you signed, my friend.
No, of course.
So, you're up and ready to go. I'm just curious because I think a lot of people take that extra Monday, that extra Sunday for granted. where you're basically getting that whole thing. But
Yeah, I mean, if with my hours, it wouldn't make any sense to take a Friday off because I get off so early, anyways. It was just the fact of like, going through the weekend.
Yep.
I can sleep. I can take care. I can take care of stuff on Monday or just relax on a Monday. That's happened to be one where I don't get to relax.
correct. And I think that's the huge difference is just being able to relax. I am curious. I don't know if you saw this tweet. I put it out ahead of time. I didn't tag anybody, so don't yell at me. But what's the first product that comes to mind if I were to say the phrase, I'll pay more, or you in this case will pay more simply because of the brand name? You don't mind paying more than product X or brand X or whatever the hell they call it.
Basically, what you're saying is like, say Kleenex.
Whatever it is. Like, what's the first product?
Smaller, like Kleenex, because we all just refer to it as Kleenex. And in fact, there's many different brands of tissue paper.
Yeah, what's the other one? Cottonelle?
There's Cottonelle, there's Puffs.
Puffs is a good one.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's generic brands that always feel harder, but Kleenex, kind of corner the market, or Xerox paper, which is just copy paper, white paper.
Right. Okay, so that's the first thing that comes to mind. Not toilet paper.
No, I mean, because.
But again, even if you're talking about,
refer to it as just Charmin or refer to it as Cottonelle or anything
all right,
like that.
Well, let me give you one that was pretty popular. I was surprised until I started going through these, and one person actually did at Coach_Izzy throw in Cottonelle. So stepping out of the realm. Band-Aids was another one, clearly.
Band-Aids is huge.
But how about this one? Heinz.
I just call it ketchup.
No. I'm saying that you're paying more for, that you will pay more for. First product that comes to mind that you'll. So I don't know if Kleenex is the answer now that you understand my question.
I was just saying because we all call it that.
Right. No, I'm just saying the product that first comes to mind that you have no problem paying more for a brand name.
Yeah. In our house, that'd probably be Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, you can't put a price on happiness, man. Honey Nut Cheerios delivers, man. All over. It's good for your heart. It's good for your taste buds. You get a little sugar kick in there as well. It's perfect. Andy Benoit's going to join us next.
Were you getting my text messages at all?
No. Now I am. Oh, you are hearing you?
I was hearing me really bad.
Jesus. See, Sean said yesterday he wasn't. Shit. Ugh. I don't know how to get you on here. I can hear me. Oh, yeah, I can hear it. Damn it. Shit, man. I don't know. We got Andy. I'm sorry. Awesome. Thank you. We continue to get closer. It feels like it's just been a shovel across our face now as we get ready for the NFL season. It's not even an easy or nice transition. It's just bam, here's the NFL, NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup run, whoever's paying attention to a couple of teams that really look solid in baseball. Now everything gets pushed back. Even we await the start of college, like the real start of college football this week, and everything on the back burner for the NFL. It is our pleasure to welcome back Andy Benoit, coming courtesy of betonline.ag. Andy, Eitan Shander, first off, thank you for your time and hope all is well with you and yours. Absolutely, man. Let's start with the big one. Let's work in reverse. All right. I'm sure you've been looking at everything from week one to specific teams, over, unders, as far as, win totals. But let's start with the big one. This has been the most bizarre, unique offseason, probably right in the history of the league. How do you see the Super Bowl odds play out, looking at really no preseason and very limited information? And I promise we're not going to hold you to it. Hmm. Very fair. I wonder if we should look at it kind of on the flip side. Is there a team, and we can start as high as Buffalo and that group, the 25-1 up to Kansas City, or maybe even narrow it down a little higher and start with like a Seattle at 16-1 and move up to Kansas City. But is there a team that jumps out in the top 4 or top 8 that you can immediately strike through and say, I may not know who's going to be in it, but I sure as hell know it's not going to be this team? Wow. Right, right, right. Andy Benoit joining us, coming courtesy of betonline.ag as we look ahead to a couple of very important key futures here. The AFC seems pretty closed outside of obviously the Chiefs and the Ravens, but here are the Bills. They kind of snuck in at that 10-1 play where you have the 12-1, the 14-1 plays behind them. How real is that? Is that 10-1 in your opinion, knowing that they're going up against the two kind of buzzsaw favorites in the Chiefs and the Ravens? Andy, I want to stay in the AFC and just a simple question about quarterbacks, one who returns, another who is playing in a completely different situation. Who makes more of an impact? Doesn't necessarily mean a better record so much as maybe making it to the playoffs as a wild card or just overall more of an impact. Is it Rivers in Indianapolis or the return of Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh? Right. Hmm. Andy Benoit joining us. BetOnline.ag is the site. NFC, it's really 8 teams, right? And then that line is drawn between the 8 teams who should be competing to represent the conference and teams that could sneak in. I mean, it might be in Arizona, long shot, but I'm surprised. I don't know what you thought when these lines came out, where smack there in the middle, literally number 8 on that list is Minnesota at 16-1. I know they lose Diggs, but it looked like that they were slighted a little bit with that 16-1 shot when you have Green Bay, Philly, Seattle, Dallas, Bucs, Saints, and all the way at the top of the Niners. Andy, I selfishly want to ask just your thoughts on the NFC East here in Philadelphia and covering and rooting for this Eagles team. I recognize why, on paper at least, Dallas would be the odds-on favorite to win the division. In fact, I'll further that and say the Eagles are talented in some key spots and return continuity-wise some key players on offense, but their line scares me to death, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if it undid them in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I don't know how you see the division play out, but Philadelphia and New York appear to be the two wild cards as far as how good the quarterback can be in New York and how able the offensive line is to stay up in Philadelphia. Oh, well, he wasn't playing well anyway, but true. Right. Awesome, Andy. Thank you so much. The time, the insight, took as much as I could down here already on the app, ready to go. BetOnline.ag. Be well, be safe. Great to hear your voice and insight again. Thanks, Andy. You got it. That's Andy Benoit at Shander Show, twitch.tv/Shander Show. We'll wrap the hour next on the second level. I don't know why I thought it was. Yeah, I lost my mixed minus. How is that possible? All right, I'm going to try some stuff, okay? I know there's going to be
years of age.
Hold on.
You've got both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum who are under 23. I mean, there are so many young stars in the NBA right now. It's always a league of stars, right? But everyone was so nervous and worried after Michael Jordan left, like who was going to carry the mantle. And we saw what happened after that. Now everyone's so worried that when LeBron James is done, who's going to carry the mantle? Well, I mean, the league is in really good shape with some
Do you hear it now? Shit. Now I'm jacking it. Oh, yeah, it's jacked. How's that? How about now?
The Jake Asman Show. If you made it
You hearing it?
30 seconds without just very faint. The Seahawks should go 2-14 based off that video.
Right now, you can't hear it, right? I don't know why.
Like Russ.
Like there, I can hear.
Well, yeah, because I just jacked it a little.
We made it through 30 seconds. God bless you and your family.
The Jake Asman
What
Show,
about now?
Weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
Wake up call.
I don't know if maybe. We'll have to wait and see when you get on air.
It's on the large list.
I still say batting out of order.
We've done this show for a little over 2 years, and I feel like we have.
Can you say that one more time? I'm just testing your volume.
That's why I just want to see what it sounds like when I'm on air, or when we're back on air. For you
Right.
being absent.
That's right.
Wake up call with
All right, the
Tony
problem
G
is
and
that-
Ron Culver, weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Wait a second. You don't hear it though, right?
I mean, faintly I can hear it.
Hmm.
But that's because I'm listening for it.
Scratching beneath the surface.
And if I turn the volume off in my studio, I can definitely hear it.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
What about when you're on the air?
The
Will you let me know?
Studios.
I'm trying to find this audio, but I don't think it exists. I think it's just the play-by-play that exists of Mike Rizzo getting thrown out, not Frank Rizzo. It's funny because whenever Frank Rizzo comes up, like I always think of the Turkey Boys. But there's a mayor here, Frank Rizzo. They tore his statue down. They did a lot to Frank. And he's very popular name in Philadelphia, but it's one of those things where I'll never not associate that name, Rizzo, at least with Frank Rizzo. I don't know where the hell they got that from, but it's one of the most, I don't even know what you would consider that. Is that like, Ron, is that a subgenre of comedy? A CD or tape or a playlist of crank calls? Would you call that like a comedy tape?
Comedy tape, I guess.
Is that what it would fall under? Like the same thing as a stand-up, right? We used to be able to get, Andrew Dice Clay's latest CD.
Yeah. But normally with Andrew Dice Clay, you didn't get the CD. You got a bootleg copy of a cassette tape. 'Cause
Well, okay.
Your friend borrowed it
Sure.
from a friend of his.
Sure, that's fair. Because you had to skirt around the whole.
Yeah. 18.
Exactly. Okay, fair enough. Maybe it was somebody less offensive, who came out with although I don't even know. Everybody I'm thinking of right now in my mind would be offensive. But that's the subgenre, right, that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think so.
Just curious.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Makes sense to you. Makes sense to you. Makes sense to me. All right, please. Look, I know you're my barometer in that point. If I'm saying something that doesn't make any sense at all, then I need you to at least step in and say, you're not making any sense. Is that fair? I would think so. Second hour coming up, second level, it's Sports Map Radio. Damn it, I wanted to hear how that sounded. So did you hear anything?
I could hear, I had a little bit of an echo. Not as bad as about a half hour ago. Whatever he did before it.
What's an easier costume, the Gardner Minshew, State Farm every year? I would say Jake from State Farm. All you need is khaki pants, a red polo shirt, print out the State Farm logo, print out a name tag that says Jake, and you're ready to go. It is the go-to costume of mine because it's easy and people always laugh. And unlike other people that do it, my name is actually Jake.
How about now?
So, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
Barely? Whoops.
Barely.
Okay.
Single.
I can still hear it. And especially every time you ask me, I'm turning down the volume in here and I can faintly make out noise. Yes.
My stove is just. going
Now, did that
This
change?
is where the marriage advice comes in. Guys, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's lower now.
Let's go.
So
look
you
at
can't
it,
hear much.
because my wife in the kitchen looked at the stove, looked up, and then said, "Yeah, we're gonna need a new microwave too." I should have seen it 100 miles away. The moment she had that picture up in the kitchen comparing the two stoves, I went, "Oh no, something's gonna happen." She's either
Okay,
gonna make me paint
I'll be
this
right back.
kitchen again, or I'm gonna get new cabinets.
Could end up being a new refrigerator.
Color scheme just isn't quite right.
We
That's
gotta
right.
build around the stove now.
Went to go buy a stove, came out with a whole new kitchen set. Be careful, guys. Be careful.
Wake up call with Tony G and Ron Culver, weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Why should some teams be allowed to have fans and other teams can't have any? Talk about a disadvantage. I mean, it's that simple. Plus, who wants to go to a Dolphin game anyway? They suck. They're not going to play Tua. They're going to suck anyway, like they always do. So who wants to go to a Dolphin game? Joe Ranieri knows they suck too. I wouldn't bet on him if it hit me in the head.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
The second level.
For the fake news, the third story, which is Jake Asman schooling you
Yes.
on a tweet I sent over the weekend.
This is the result of that said tweet. I got to talk to the guy after you who tweeted out that a new name was going to be announced in 15 minutes. Did you see that
Yeah,
tweet?
so I think Aton was making the joke, basically being like, "Oh, we have a bad PR story. Well, let's announce a new name so no one's
Thank
talking
you.
about Darius."
Well, that
Guys,
was a bad joke. It went over my head.
yeah, he fooled. See, I'm on Aton's level. He was doing a little like joking troll, being like, "Oh, watch them put out their name now. No one will talk about Darius. Guys, we'll be talking about their new name."
That was awesome. And thank you, Jake Asman. Look at that guy standing up for me, and he said even I'm on his level. Jake
All right, I'm
Asman
back.
is on the second level. I was trying to bring you up there with that joke on Friday. I can't believe, of all people, you took it literally.
The second level with Aton Shander. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you thinking that it's time to start looking for a new car? Then go to automotivemap.com to see the latest auto news, find out about what's ahead for your favorite brands, and learn how much that new car will cost you. Automotivemap.com is your place. Check out the hottest exotic cars, retail.
Boy, that Odell Beckham thing's kind of crazy, huh?
Automotive lifestyle. Into hot mods? Want to see the cars? Love a good restoration job from off-roading.
Did you guys talk about that?
Automotivemap.com has it covered.
No, Jake did.
Wake up call.
Can I tell you a little funny blurb from my radio travels?
Of course.
When I was in Colorado Springs, it was one of those years where the West was just killing everybody, whereas the East losing records for getting like 6 seeds. So Benjamin Hockman, who works in St. Louis, is a good friend of mine, and he covered the Nuggets at the time. I said to him, this is like a Halley's Comet type of year for the Western Conference. We never see this very often. He goes to Denver, and he talks to George Karl, and he says, this is kind of like a Halley's Comet type of year. And I'm listening, I'm going, wait, that's my line. But here's where it gets even trickier. Karl agrees to it, and then Karl in a press conference like a day later says, this is kind of like a Halley's Comet year in the Western Conference, where 50 games will get you in. No one is going to believe me that was my line. That's my line. That's not his. That's not Ben Hockman's line. That's my line they're using.
Wake up call with Tony B and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Wake up call. Please, God, if it does come to that, can we have the Walking Dead zombies not to be World War Z?
Yeah, I don't need the fast-moving.
Superhuman.
Ooh,
I'm not
Neil.
outrunning a World War Z zombie.
I'm the guy you bring because secretly you know I can't keep up with the rest of the group. Hey, I'm going to take Bob and Jim and Tony. You come with us too. And everybody knows why you're bringing me. So when push comes to shove, I'm the meal.
Wake up call with Tony B and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
One of the big changes we're all dealing with is wearing a mask, but not all offer the same comfort and protection. I recommend the Boomer Naturals 3-layer comfortable breathable mask enhanced with nano silver technology. Nano silver can block those tiny drops and particles from getting to your nose and mouth. They also offer nano silver neck gaiters, available in sizes for adults and children, and are in stock now and shipped to you fast. Order now at boomernaturals.com. Use the promo code Tony and save 20%. That's code Tony at boomernaturals.com.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
This is a Gal Media property in partnership with Jacob Media.
Set your system's volume control for slightly above the normal listening level.
Let's go. Second level thinking is defined as looking beyond the easy, obvious conclusions.
You've got to do some smart thinking.
Welcome to the second level on the SportsMap Radio Network. a show where we go beyond the box score.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
So this story went viral, and it's, I guess, still trending as Odell Beckham. Well, actually, yes, Odell technically is trending with all of the jokes that are associated with Cleveland and this allegation. And again, this comes from a couple of models who were doing a show. We already saw something not even similar, but in the same frame, I guess, with the Phoenix Suns and that one woman. But now it comes out, and look, I don't even need, who cares about the specifics of this? I get why this is a salacious story because of the allegations, but I think that's kind of what it is right now. And this, like, people are awaiting for more and more of this, and I don't get that. And I am trying not to sit here and judge, because I do understand the fascination of something like this. Hey, a celebrity likes to have somebody fill in the blank, and you can pretty much go across the board there with a bunch of different answers that would shock you. In this case, okay. I mean, it doesn't do much for me, because I feel like it's kind of a more bizarre or even like out there fetish, and I don't know what to do with it. Like, I don't know what to do with this information as far as how do you want this info? Is it just that you can sit there and talk to your buddy about it? Man, do you believe what Odell Beckham likes? This is crazy. All right. And what does that get you? Like a couple of minutes of conversation at most. This stuff, though, is just, it takes over. It completely takes over. And you're seeing it to this level where it's now like the top trend outside of Star Trek Day that's being promoted by CBS All Access. And what happened to this poor surfer in a shark attack off the Gold Coast of Australia? You've got Odell. 81,000 plus tweets already going on as we speak regarding Odell. So clearly people care, but I don't know why this stuff just takes over the way it does. Unbelievable.
Rocket Mortgage, making the right financial decision.
Now, did you turn it down because you could hear it? Oh, no, that was my headphones. All right, so
Now is a great time to call
Let's see.
8338 Rocket. And if you need some extra money, a cash out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338 Rocket or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Listen up, sports bettors. This is Phil Snyder here to tell you about one of my favorite sports books, and that's BetUS. Football, basketball, and baseball are all back, and that means it's time to get down your bets. I only tell you about the best, and BetUS.com is the best. Why, you ask? BetUS.
Can you hear anything now?
In online betting with more than 25 years in the biz. A sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-MY-BET-US.
How about now?
That's 1-800-MY-BET-US. I'll walk you through.
Whoops.
It gives bigger
Okay.
bonuses than BetUS. Join now. Mention Sports Map Radio, and you can get up to 150% in bonus.
Doing this with you helps me, because otherwise I don't have the time.
25 years in the biz, the best bonuses. BetUS should be your sports book. Join today. Call 1-800-MY-BET-US.
You know?
Or go to BetUS.com.
You're good, though? You don't hear anything?
Mention sport.
Yeah, I'm just hearing static.
Static?
At home.
Or, kind of like a hook.
This week, Staples 2-pocket paper folders and 1-subject notebooks are an incredible 10 cents.
Did that go away?
Now that's a back-to-school deal you don't want to miss.
No, if you had something turned up really loud, you can kind of hear it.
Like a fan?
No, it's not that bad. I don't even know.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Get crystals won't modernize your network.
Now it dropped, right? Really? Okay.
Transform your business and help take it to another level. And we can certainly help you find those talented people. We have nearly 3/4 of all job seekers in the U.S., according to Voxford, and smart tools to help you find the best candidate for you. Indeed also provides flexibility to only pay for what you need and won't lock you into any long-term contracts. Claim your $75 credit to get more quality candidates fast. You post your first job at Indeed.com/hiringpath. That's Indeed.
So did that get worse?
Terms and conditions apply.
So did that get worse?
Okay, good.
You're listening to the Sports Map Radio Network, broadcasting safely with our mask from Boomer Naturals.
Order now at boomernaturals.com. Use promo code SportsMapRadio for 20% off.
I can hear it on the broadcast, but it sounds like so fizzy.
Dealing with the root of the issues. It's the second level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander.
Well, we do have a couple of big games tonight in the NBA, a closeout scenario. And I can't imagine that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to do anything really at all, especially after what we saw from Game 4. Chris Middleton coming alive finally, and you could just tell that the Bucks exerted everything. Like, they have nothing left. I can't imagine that this game is anywhere near a tight 1 to 2 point game. I had no problem laying the points with Miami. If you're following along at Odds Checker with what I'm doing there, even beyond that, though, it's simply just looking at this from as big of a picture as we can paint here. Heat length 4 right now. I'm okay with that. Giannis, questionable, the ankle. Beyond whether or not he plays, it goes to how much he's going to play if he does, how long he's going to last out there. Way too many variables to count on in order for the Bucks to come out and just beat Miami, who even in that loss, that shady foul on Brook Lopez that went towards Brook Lopez, it was a tight ending, and it wasn't even convincing. I saw this in the NHL where the Flyers won their first 2 games against the Islanders in overtime, but you could tell that they were up big. Islanders came back, forced the overtime, and despite losing in overtime, they still had the momentum to come back in that game and force it. And then they came out and they won the next game both times. That's what's happening, I think, here to that one game level that we saw in Game 4. It's just you don't have enough gas right now. You simply don't have enough energy to provide everything like that. You don't, and that's why I think trusting Milwaukee is tough. Trusting the Bucks right now to do anything more than just bow out is a really difficult one. And when they do, tomorrow we can look at the year that was, and we touched on that yesterday. Carvel came up. You missed some fun times, Ron. You missed Carvel. You missed the Fudgy the Whale. You missed Cookie Puss. You missed the Fudgy the Whale cartoon. See what happens when you take off to take down a pool? Miss fun, all of the things that we did leading up to this year, this playoff, dealt with the Bucks.
You know what? You can go back to Carvel if you want.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, where were you on that? I was just, Carvel. Yeah, I don't know if Sean put it in his folder or if he just pulled it up, but we went deep off of the ledge there when it came to Carvel. Even brought John McMullen into the Carvel conversation.
I'm kind of confused with the Carvel conversation. Just whether or not is it good?
Oh, so are you not familiar with Carvel ice cream?
No, I'm familiar with Carvel ice cream.
It's just one of those go-tos. It's like the go-to ice cream cake when you were a kid.
Yeah, does anybody else make them besides Baskin Robbins?
You can buy ice cream cakes at your local supermarket. So
that's where you get Carvel.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that Carvel is in the supermarket now.
Well, for here.
Well, look at that. I didn't realize that Carvel was global. I thought it was just stores up in the Northeast.
It's global. That little cookie crumb at the bottom. You kidding me? That's awesome.
So that's what, and that's what we are, is every year we just lap up as much Milwaukee Bucks in the regular season like a Cookie Puss cake or a Fudgy the Whale cake, because it was your go-to. You could eat the entire cake It wasn't even one that would weigh you down so much. It was an amazing thing. And you're a kid too, so you have all this metabolism. Now, have you introduced your children? This is a true testament to how good of a parent you are. Have you introduced your children to the Carvel ice cream cake? No, you have not.
I'm pretty certain we have.
Good.
We definitely had ice cream cake in the past because we're not big on traditional cake. Like if you go to a store and buy a cake, or you're at home and you make a cake, we're not really traditional in that sense. Where birthdays come around. I mean, we did it this year, which is kind of odd that for 2 out of 3 birthdays in that week in August, everyone had that. When it came to my birthday, I said I don't want a cake. We
Right.
need to get these ice cream pies.
Okay.
That are
Like those, like those pies that have the cookie on either side of it.
Yeah, there's a cookie on the bottom, and then you can find them in all your local freezer sections in your favorite grocery stores. One we like to get is like a Hershey's chocolate thing, whatever, and it's pretty delicious. In fact, if you're not careful, you could finish the whole thing.
Okay, got it.
Here's what it's big enough to share with the family, but it's just small enough that you could get lost and not even notice that. Oh my God, I ate half the pie.
Yeah, okay, that's the Carvel ice cream.
Yes.
Now, we don't have Carvel by me in Philadelphia. So I have to travel to South Jersey, which is not bad because we have a new home in South Jersey. AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio is now part of our network here locally. So we're thrilled, and I can just go down. I might do that. I might go down, pop in to the local Carvel, grab a Fudgy the Whale, put it in the freezer, do the show down there at the wonderful 1490 Sports Betting Radio studios. Only be for 2 hours. They can tolerate me then, probably. Just say, all right, get out of our way. Here you go. Here's a small little studio that you can work with. And then I grab the Fudgy the Whale cake. It'll take me about an hour or so to drive home. I could probably put down half of that on the car ride back. Strap it in the passenger seat. Absolutely. I'm going to get, but see, here's the thing. I'll come prepared. I can't use one of those plastic forks when I'm driving. I need one of those serving spoons. I need one of those big stainless steel things that you can cut through a cobbler with, whatever you need to, right on the table. So I need one of those in order to cut through this Fudgy the Whale thing. I'd be done. Cookie Puss I probably put down in that hour. Fudgy the Whale is a little more shapely, if you will. Cookie Puss, that's an easy cake to put down. Easy. I've never even heard of Cookie Puss. Oh, my goodness. I mean, you are being deprived. Absolutely deprived. Well, yeah, on this show, you're being deprived of a lot. That's true. I apologize to you and everybody else in advance. It all started with the Bucks. All right, don't blame me. It all started with the Miami Heat about to sweep the Bucks, and they did everything possible just to stay alive one more game. And that's it. They'll bow out tonight, 6:30 Eastern. This thing will be over by 8 o'clock Eastern. You can just prepare yourself for the big one. And there is a lot at stake for the Lakers tonight. There truly is a lot at stake. Yeah, it's the semis, and it's 1-1. But Houston is dangerous, and they haven't really figured it out yet with Russell Westbrook. It's a dangerous team right now if, in fact, they can figure it out. And you just don't want to let a squad like that linger. They are the worst type of team that you want to let linger around in a playoff series, especially just mess around and go down 2-1. Lakers come out tonight. Anthony Davis, monster game on top of Rajon Rondo coming out. And looks like he hasn't missed a step leading the bench there. But the Lakers have depth. The Lakers have 2 monster scorers that they can rely on, as well as facilitators. I mean, LeBron should be flirting with the triple-double tonight. You should see Anthony Davis continue to pound the basketball, and they don't slow down a lick, which is, again, an opportunity for Houston because the tempo didn't suddenly slow down. This didn't turn into some 1950s Bob Cousy game. They were still moving, and that's the thing about the Lakers is even if Anthony Davis becomes the main source of offense and they start to move the basketball from behind the arc to down low, nothing slows down. It's not all of a sudden just multiple half-court sets in a row trying to take away tempo or pacing from Houston. In fact, it's the opposite, which is we're going to outrun you. We're going to outpace you. And we're going to get this guy moving in transition. He's big and fast enough that you don't have anybody that can truly stop him. You get a rebound, all of a sudden he's gone. That's getting him involved more as a scoring threat without having to stop your tempo and just get to this half-court set. Think about what you have tonight with these two games. You have a major statement that's going to be made about two players individually and one team, and that's in the first series with the Heat and the Bucks. Miami gets to see Jimmy Butler do exactly what he said he was leaving Philadelphia to do, join a winning culture and go out and compete. We don't know what's going to happen. Boston takes it, blowout fashion. We talked with Max Letterman, and he gave us great insight as to what was going to happen, and that exactly played out where Boston just ran through Toronto. So if it's Boston, Miami, let's say, that is the best scenario for reviving the Eastern Conference that took a big hit, let's be fair. Took a big hit again when you had Milwaukee and Toronto, Indiana, Philadelphia, even knowing everybody in Philly was kind of checked out as is, leading this charge of excitement and so many teams looking like they were going to fizzle, especially Milwaukee. Miami, Boston, two big markets. Even Miami in the conference finals is enough to bring out the fair weather fans down there. Oh, that's right. I forgot we had a basketball team. Whatever it might take. But this is a statement, and he had a terrible game, or not as up to par as we've seen in the series in Game 4, where Jimmy Butler just was not as much, if really much at all, of a threat. We know, or at least you should, that's not going to remain a constant. Jimmy Butler's going to come out and just be motivated to cause some damage, and probably cause that damage early on. This is a Miami Heat win the first quarter bet all day. In fact, I might even have to check that out locally here on the DraftKings app and see what they say in Pennsylvania, where you can legally place that wager. But beyond this statement that's made about Jimmy Butler, we'll start talking about, hopefully others will as well, but we'll start talking about Giannis in that type of fashion of disappointing. We'll start talking about Giannis as a guy with all the talent that just he can't put it together. The teams around him, they can't put it together. Get him out of Milwaukee like Anthony Davis, get him out of New Orleans. That's going to be the conversation as soon as they get knocked out. And it's going to mask all of the love that was bestowed upon this team this year. Oh, they're going to win it, betting that the Bucks would beat the Lakers, and all of these things that surrounded this love for the Milwaukee Bucks came up super short. And then tonight, if in fact Houston wins this basketball game, and it's a lot of pressure on them because they had no shot last game, even though they stole game one. And if in fact Westbrook can put this thing together, you've got James Harden and everybody else just kind of waiting for that. Don't disrupt what we've got going, Russ. Do your thing, and that's going to blend perfectly to a game plan where you can outshoot LA. If in fact that happens, then watch. The conversation with LeBron shifts back to legacy. Conversation to LeBron. He can't win either way. Bubble was going to be used as an excuse if, in fact, the Lakers steamrolled everybody. If they lose, the bubble will be used as a lack of, oh, you can't blame the bubble, man. You cannot blame the bubble. At Shander Show, twitch.tv/Shander Show. That's right. Jimmy Buckets all day as we're getting shouts on Twitter. At Shander Show, at Ron Culver, 2 N's, twitch.tv/Shander Show. Your phone number, 800-224-2004. Fake news is back, as is Ron Culver. We'll do that next on the second level.
The $5 football at Subway remains the biggest lie in our society. Someone needs to hold Subway accountable. I'm tired of it. The $5 football has never been $5. It never will be $5. It's a scandal that needs to be covered. A politician should run a campaign on railing against the $5 football platform. If I'm going to run to be an elected official, I'm running on the platform that the Subway $5 football will actually be $5. I am going to change society for the better because I am sick and tired of all the lies. There's a lot of lies in our country right now. You know, we're all at each other's throats politically. I think one thing we all could agree on is that the $5 footlong at Subway is a farce. It's a hoax. It's not real. It's a figment of your imagination. If you're going to Subway expecting to get a $5, you're part of the problem.
The Jake Asman Show, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
The Jake Asman Show.
Many times in my life, I've had to share a hotel room with somebody. My plan of selecting which bed depends on proximity to the air conditioning bed and proximity to the most outlets. You know, I have a lot of things that need to be charged. I need to plug in my fan. I need to charge my phone. I have an Apple Watch. I have a Mophie phone.
Plug in his fan. He was just talking about being next to the AC.
The Jake Asman
Wow.
It's annoying to see people play this.
What a selfish roommate.
When it comes to college football, I know you're disappointed. I want. Firmly rejecting Kevin Warren's release, and they plan to protest the Big Ten. This is so America now. You get the answer you don't want. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Everyone's saying don't gather in big groups. So what you're going to do is go and gather and get around other people and potentially spread the virus so we can't play football. We're telling on ourselves. We're being so stupid. COVID is an IQ test. We have a way out. It's all this instant gratification. We need it now. We have to get it now. We cannot wait. We're Americans. We want fast food. We want quick service. We want what we want, and we want it now. We're such a bunch of babies.
Christina, this is Matt Ferrall, weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 Eastern.
Why should some teams be allowed to have fans and other teams can't have any? We talk about a disadvantage. I mean, it's that simple. Plus, who wants to go to a Dolphin game anyway? They suck. They're not going to play Tua. They're going to suck anyway like they always do. So who wants to go to a Dolphin game? Joe Ranieri knows they suck too. I wouldn't bet on him if it hit me in the head.
Ferrall Coast to Coast with Scott Ferrall, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Phil, can I ask you a question?
Fake news with Ron.
Fake news out there.
Don't believe those lies.
It's on Shander to give it to you straight. 3 stories, but only one is fake.
It's true. I know it's a weird thought. It's true.
Can Shander spot the fraud? Here's Ron Tolman.
All right. You know what? I think I might have outdone myself today. I'm not
Well,
100% sure, but
every time it's just almost playing like mind games here.
I know, but I might have outdone myself today.
All right. Well, do you have the Australian surfer?
3 stories here. I don't even know which one is real.
Okay.
So I don't even know what to make of that.
Well, they're all fake.
They could all be fake. They could all be real.
Well, that should be a good segment. And look, before I forget,
Which one is which?
before I forget, can we in 10 minutes? Can we address a new promo that I just heard? And it's not the promo, but it's the content within the promo.
Sure.
Okay. It has to do with our friend who is sandwiched between Tony D and yourself in the morning and me. Okay. I just so we can make a mental bookmark before we hit this segment. I apologize. Okay. Well, you've bragged and boasted, my friend. Take it away.
All right, fake story. No, you know what? It's been such a long time. I turned off the music. Can you believe that?
Yes, this is what happens when you have an extra day off. That's Monday, not Friday. See, if you were off on Friday, you would have come in. Maybe you wouldn't even come in at all. This is like the best we can get with you on a Monday off.
I don't know if it would have made a difference if I took off Friday or if I took off Monday.
No, I don't either. Okay.
Music back. It feels like it's been forever, right?
Yeah, or just feels like every other segment on this show.
Sure.
Slapped together.
Slapped together the last second.
Well, no, I didn't say the last second. I just said slap. You could slap something together and let it sit in the fridge and marinate for 2 days. Jeez, don't give away all our secrets.
Or not.
Fair.
All right, fake story number 1. California has definitely seen better days with all the sweltering heat, the heat wave that they endured over the last couple of days. My
Okay.
mom's telling me like where she is 119 degrees. They haven't felt that in over 50 years. Well, and obviously we've heard about all the wildfires hitting California right now. But did you know that one of the wildfires was unfortunately started due to a pyrotechnic device for a gender reveal?
No, but I don't. That's so believable. I was in Portland for a week auditioning for a job when some idiot kid lit a stick on fire and it caused one of the worst forest fires in the area. There were clouds of ash hanging over the city of Portland because of how like they couldn't stop it. They could not stop this forest fire.
No, and in fact, with all the fires that are happening in California right now, they're expecting Santa Ana conditions, which is a wind event.
Oh, beautiful.
That is literally just warm air coming off from the desert.
Beautiful.
And it's warm air, and you can have wind gusts up to 60, up to 70 miles per hour. That's what really causes, especially in Southern California. It's more prevalent in Southern California, although you can have them in Northern California. It's more prevalent in Southern California. And when those winds kick up, these fires just spread so rapidly. I mean, was one of the reasons why was in 2007 I had to evacuate my house in San Diego.
Gotcha. Okay. This is good to know. All info.
This one wildfire was caused by a gender reveal.
Interesting.
All right, story number 2. A Japanese man is suing his town after he drunkenly passed out in the middle of the road because road working crews who were painting lines did not attempt to wake him and just painted the lines and just went right over him.
Where was he sleeping?
Like in the middle of the road. I guess it's a phenomenon that's been happening lately in Okinawa.
Wait, is this like the program? Remember that movie that sparked a bunch of kids laying down?
I don't think it's that.
Well,
By the way, you can never find that cut in the film.
it's taken out. You're right. And I saw that movie in the theater. So I was you and I are one of the small few.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist anywhere.
It's amazing. You really can't find that. Like, you can't even find it as, I think it was part of the lawsuit, right? Because some idiot kids went out. I mean, it's terrible. Terrible. So where did this phenomenon come from in Okinawa, though?
Well, it's just people have it's been happening. It's a drunken thing where they just walk out in the middle of the street and fall asleep. It's called,
What?
Yeah.
Is this
Rojo Ne, which translates as sleeping on the road. Rojo Ne.
Is it only happening in Okinawa, or is it happening across? Is this a pandemic that we didn't know about? A silent pandemic?
I mean, we can start it here if you want.
I'm not going to be the one to start it.
You don't want to start sleeping in the middle of the road?
No, if I can't get the program on my television, I'm not going to succumb to this one. I'll do the program first. At least I'll have a helmet on with the program. All right, so that's story 2. You sure you didn't rip that off from the program?
No. But you remember the whole scene? That whole scene was just to show how, I mean, because all the rest of the football players were freaking out. And it was to show the quarterback just calm, cool, and collected,
Right.
reading a magazine,
Right.
with his feet crossed. I mean, the only thing missing was him just chewing on an apple.
What was his name? Blake? No, Blake was Necessary Roughness. I don't remember. Okay, what's story 3?
Story number 3: 2 English footballers, aka soccer players, were dropped from their national team in the middle of a tournament after sneaking 4 women into their hotel room. One of these women is the soon-to-be Miss Universe contestant from Iceland.
Really? Now, Iceland was just boasting about how well they're doing with cases. Were there any? Was it?
Doesn't matter. I mean,
She got the hell out.
No, you're unlocked. I mean, your team coming from another country, you got to follow your own protocols. And just like any other sports team here, we could have places here that are nice and safe, like Orlando, but you can't have any NBA players sneaking in women from into the hotel.
Yeah. That's
So these two footballers were, I guess, not unceremoniously kicked off the team. They were booted because they snuck 4 women into their hotel room.
okay. Now that is believable.
Which one is fake?
You're right. This was a great job here. Now I have to try and get inside your brain to figure out which one you would fake. Number 2 seems like you exactly, and that's why I definitely am patient and cautious in my maneuvers. But I feel like number 2 jumps out as way too ridiculous. Therefore, it's true. Boy, story 1 it's just so believable because I've seen it happen all the time. Gender reveal is like a newer thing still. I'm going to say reluctantly, I'm going to say story 3.
Story 3.
Yes.
I will say this, that your deduction is admired. Story number 1 is real. A fire in San Bernardino, in the San Bernardino Mountain, was started by a whatchamacallit device, gender reveal device.
Got it.
Don't know if that family's going to have to pay. Story number 3 is true. 2 soccer players.
Look at
from the
that.
National team were kicked off the team.
Unbelievable.
They're gorgeous. I would try to speak to them.
Where'd you get this Okinawa thing? Okay, well then,
No, but that story is fake.
so I'm wrong.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
I'm not suing anyone for falling asleep in the middle of the street.
Not all offer the same comfort and protection. I recommend the Boomer Natural. Nano Silver can block those tiny drops and particles from getting to your nose and mouth. They also offer those popular Nano Silver neck gaiters, available in sizes for adults and children that are in stock now and shipped to you fast. Order now at boomernaturals.com. Use promo code Scott and save 20%. That's code Scott at boomernaturals.com.
Today, everyone is expecting you to maintain a new level of cleaning, from customers and employees to students and staff. Cintas has the essential products and services to help you carry out cleaning protocols effectively. We'll keep you well stocked with cleaning supplies, professionally laundered uniforms, and other essentials like face masks, hand sanitizer, and thermometers. Give everyone the confidence they need to keep coming back. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Change is constant. That's why with Fidelity Wealth Management, your dedicated advisor will work with you to create a personalized plan for your full financial picture. One that can be adjusted as your needs change to help you stay on target. Plus, they can let you know what you're paying for and why. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC.
Modern visions today has the products you need to modernize your workplace, like Wi-Fi booster.
Okay, so let me think.
Let their metaphysical powers enhance connectivity and spiritually awaken your Internet of Things.
At CDW, we get crystals won't modernize your network. You need Cisco Catalyst access points that are Wi-Fi 6 compatible and can help you improve reliability, increase capacity, and reduce latency. Cisco and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Cisco.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance can give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Whether class is in school, at home, or a little bit of both.
Staples has everything you need to start the year right, and all at amazing prices.
From notebooks to lap desks, folders to noise-canceling headphones.
This week, Staples 2-pocket paper folders and 1-subject notebooks are an incredible 10 cents each. Now that's a back-to-school deal you don't want to miss.
Shop in-store or pick up curbside. School on, save on at Staples.
Ends 9/12, limit 6, in-store only, while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
You're listening to the second level on the Sports Map.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios with way more than the scores. Here's Eitan Shander.
So I did put out this tweet earlier in the day just to get some responses about brand names. And if, in fact, you would pay at Shander Show at Ron Culver, 2 N's, at twitch.tv/Shander Show on the stream. If you would buy and basically pay more for any product simply because of the brand name. I did not anticipate, because I don't eat this condiment, and it's one that you shouldn't, in my opinion, and you don't need. There is a major misconception out there that you need mayonnaise. You can replace. Here's something I would do, okay? You're going to think I'm crazy, but if you haven't already come to that conclusion and you listen to this program, then you're clearly just putting us on for background noise, which is fine. I'll take that over anything. Trust me. I'll take anybody listening to the show for whatever reason. Hate listen, background noise. What is this idiot going to say next? Anything along those lines. Teaching your children in the house what not to listen or sound like. Anything that you want. As long as you're listening, that's all we care about. But at no point do you ever need mayonnaise. It is a major misconception out there. I did not anticipate that people responding to that tweet would get into a mayo battle. And here's all I'll say about this is just go through this exercise. Go through this food exercise the next time you want to have mayo. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, you can even go different degrees of it. It doesn't have to be like yellow, for example, or honey, for example, or Stone, Dijon. But replace whatever your mustard is of choice. Replace the mayonnaise with mustard. Whatever you're getting, tuna salad, whatever it is, trust me on this. Just try it before you knock it and tell me that I'm gross, disgusting, offensive. Copy this audio from the stream and send it to... I can't believe what Shanders Show says. Get him off the air. Suggesting that we as a people, we as a culture here in this country, abolish mayonnaise. You remember the boneless wings hero? The guy who stood up? What was that? Nebraska, right, Ron? As far as the hero that we had who stood up. It was Nebraska. This should be done for mayonnaise as well. Now, I'm not going to drag you into this and say that you represent this as well. I will fight. I will stand up in front of any group of local government to Congress. You can send me to the Supreme Court. I'll put a suit and tie on. I'll shave my head and trim my beard and go up there and make a presentation. Doesn't matter who is in front of me at this point. If it's 5 or 6 people and I'm standing on a soapbox, or if it's the highest court in the land. Now, before we can even get to this story in the world of the PGA and what Dustin Johnson did over the weekend, the Tour Championship came to an end. Not only does he win the championship, but clearly with the FedEx points, paid off 3-shot victory over the weekend and edging out Rory McIlroy. There was something I heard on a promo, and it's a great promo, don't get me wrong. Now, here's what I would suggest. Is there a way that we can hear that promo in case people haven't heard it yet? I don't know how brand new this is. It might be today. I don't know when it came out. It's the one in which Jake Asman of the Jake Asman Show is explaining his... Okay. What's a quick minute? Like today? Really? Wait a second. This promo about him in the hotel room has been in here for a while? It's the first time I've heard it. Oh, yeah, okay. But you know me. I've got an ear like a hawk. Well, I just think that if we can play that real quick, there's something that jumped out about Jake.
August 21st was when that promo
Wow.
was created.
It's a little longer than I thought. Okay. Now, let's do this. Can we hear that real quick, and then I'll explain the beef that I have in this promo. Please. Okay, you just let me know when it's ready, and we'll go to it. There is something that, and you know, this show, more so than any other show, we stand for Asman. Like, we love Jake Asman, and he gives us a lot of great content from his show and also some things that we could talk about. Same thing with Tony and Ron in the morning. If there's anything that we hear already on the network, then we'll bring it up. Again, that Tony promo in which he's giving me marital advice, I made sure that I wrote everything down specifically. There is a new fan-sided article that has come out, and I can't wait to see odds on this one, where the writer believes the Rockets will blow up their roster once, of course, they lose to the Lakers as expected. And the first guy to go will be Russell Westbrook, leaving for the Knicks to trade and take on that contract. That, I think, is going to be a major talking point now that Fansided just threw this thing out. And we'll get to this in a second, but I want you to hear this Jake Asman promo. I'll throw those names out that Fansided did, and then we can start looking at, even if we have to hypothetically create our odds, there is more trade rumors happening right now with the NBA, and this is what they've been missing this postseason. You need stuff like this to complement games on the floor, games on the ice. It's why the NHL struggles a lot outside of the playoffs, that fuel people watching because, hey, it's a Stanley Cup playoffs. But you need more NFL type things happening. Trade rumors, movements, threats of holding out, whatever. Remember when Alvin Kamara was going to be traded? The guy's going to sign a multi-year extension probably today. So I'll let you hear who exactly is involved in the rumors, at least with this Westbrook trade with the Knicks that could go down as soon as they blow this team up. All these hypotheticals. There's another insider saying that the Sixers are likely to move for Chris Paul, of all people. It's nonsense. It's crazy. It's what the NBA needs. But I heard this promo regarding Jake Asman and his hotel etiquette, and it kind of jumped out because I, like he, was down in Miami for the Super Bowl, and I wonder if this caused a little rift inside the room in which he was staying. This is the... Well, he's not going to tell you. We're going to have to track down like Cody or somebody. Absolutely. We'd have to get them on the record.
Quick question. Do you want the actual promo or do you just want the content, the dry content?
Let's do the dry content.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready. This is Jake.
Many times in my life, I've had to share a hotel room with somebody. My plan of selecting this bed depends on proximity to the air conditioning vent and proximity to the most outlet. You know, I have a lot of things that need to be charged. I need to plug in my fan. I need to charge my phone. I have an Apple Watch. I have a Mophie phone charger case. I need outlets galore, and a lot of it depends on where the bed is located in the hotel room.
So the first thing that jumped out at me is it's like one or the other, Jake. You either need all of these outlets to commandeer, and think about that. You know, here you are, you got your tablet, maybe your laptop, your phone. You're on the road for work. He's commandeering all these outlets.
If you are in a hotel room by yourself, totally fine, right?
Yes, of course, if it's total, but he's talking about roommates. He specifically said that.
Sharing a room, so there's, you know, picture a standard hotel room already has the two double beds in it.
Correct.
And then there's usually the table in the middle and one outlet there. And then there's another outlet where sometimes they'll have a table or a desk. And by the sounds of it, it sounds like he has all of that going on, plus a fan.
It's insane. Like you would need your own. Okay, so you're right. There are multiple levels of rudeness going on with Jake's on-the-road etiquette in a hotel room. First off, he's got so many things going that you need now your own things going to drown out that white noise. So
You got it. I mean, if I know I'm staying in a hotel room and Jake, somehow I drew the short straw and I'm staying with Jake. Not that it was short straw, but
it might be after this.
But you know what I'm saying. I know that I need to pack a power strip.
But that's absurd. You should not need to pack your own power strip to go to a hotel room. And here is the ultimate level of hypocrisy. He opened up explaining how he would rather be next to the air conditioner. So not only does he need the bed that's closest to the air conditioner, he also needs all 8 outlets in the room for a fan, of one of them, a fan. So he's got the AC running all night and he's got a fan on him as well. This is ridiculous.
Our AC is broken in the studio right now.
Well, that's different. You're doing a show, you break a sweat, you're going to need a fan.
It's broken the other way.
Oh, is that right?
I have it set to be 74, and it's currently 67 degrees in the studio. So it's a little on the chilly side, right?
Ah.
Jake, he's like shorts and t-shirt, goes, man, I love this. This is what I keep my house at. So, I mean, he's literally breeding penguins in his house.
Unbelievable. No, what he's probably responsible for the next energy crisis that's going on in Houston. If you have to turn your fans off at 3 p.m., now you know who to blame.
If there's a brownout, if there's a blackout, we know who we're pointing the finger at.
Look, all I'm saying here is if you are on the road, you need to show some consideration. This guy, I already know that I'm not there. And I'm not going to hang in a room, as far as live in a room for 2 or 3 days at the Super Bowl. I don't care what the event is. They could send us to a concert. You can send us to the Daytona 500. I'm not sharing. I could not share a room with Jake. And he's probably thinking to himself, good, I wouldn't want to share a room with Shander. You kidding me? I mean, he's probably all his own idiosyncratic stuff. But I don't know. It just feels like when you commandeer the AC and all of the outlets, and one of those things in the outlet is a fan, you've already set the tone for the trip. You know, like, all right, here you go. You're over there.
He brings his own fan. I don't think it's a huge fan.
It's not like a Vornado.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't, maybe it's one of those small Dyson, or it could be like just a small little fan. Like when you buy a big fan and they throw the small fan for free.
Yes.
To pay just $10 more.
Yes.
It could be that size fan. I don't think it's one of those clip-on fans that you'll see people, have, like, especially on strollers. Maybe it is that size. I don't know. But, I mean, the fact is that he needs to have an outlet to plug in his fan when he stays in a hotel room when he's cranking the AC down to 50.
Unbelievable. I mean, this is a new level of selfishness that I did not anticipate by any means, especially from Jake. I figured Jake would be the most accommodating. Tony, Jake, or Aton, who's the least accommodating roommate on the road? It's going to be me or Tony.
Now, he might be accommodating, but this might be his preference, his wish list, if you will. That if he goes and stays in a room, this is what he wants.
Got it. Okay, just making sure.
Because I don't know if he's kicking and screaming. I'm not going to assume that.
No, but I don't know. It's just this whole thing about commandeering everything. Like, give me an outlet, brother, all right? That's all I want.
Does that? You guys set the thermostat. It's like, we'll compromise. We'll set it at 68 at night because I like it cold when I sleep. And then you wake up and you can see your own breath because he set it down to 45.
Wow. Just asking.
I don't know. I don't know if that happens. Maybe.
Just asking. Look, just making sure that I have a full. I appreciate that. Now, as far as this situation, well, we're going to get down to this at some point. We're going to track somebody down who stayed with Jake Asman at the. Remember, we've had a couple of instances where he's been on the road covering things for this network. So even if we have to bring back an old friend who's in Kansas City right now, remember those two covered a golf event. I remember I was doing the show after Alex at the time on the network.
Yeah, they also went to the draft together.
Oh, so, okay, this is perfect. We can get him on, right? That's not going to upset anybody since he's no longer with us.
He's coming on tomorrow on the Jake Asman show.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, that's what I just saw.
Now, can we get him as a follow-up? Normally, we would never double book a guest, but in this case, we need answers on this.
I'll test the waters and see.
Okay. Now, remember, we're not even going to talk about the same content with Alex as Jake's going to bring him on just to talk about the Chiefs. Oh, well, what do you think about Patrick Mahomes? We're going to get 6 or 7 good minutes. That's all we need. We can do it in like a short segment. 6 or 7 good minutes on whether or not Jake truly is a terrible roommate on the road. We'll wrap the hour next. One for the road on the second level.
This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
I don't know if I think Jake met this person without.
Oh, really?
I was like, yeah, I know Jake knows, but I don't know if the moratorium with Alex Gold is passed yet.
Ah. What about with Cody Stutes?
A video for a few minutes. I think Cody would be fine, but I don't think Cody's one of them.
Got it. Oh, I don't know the nature of how any of this works. So, yeah, okay. Got it.
With Alex, it was literally, he told us that he was leaving a week before Christmas, that he was done with the network. We were planning all fall long about how the new year was going to look. That seemed kind of easy. I think he kind of left on good terms. He only gave us a week notice. He said, I'm out of here. Then pretty much like during that final week, it stopped going halfway through and it was down to get to Kansas City and started to say.
Got it.
On-roading, AutomotiveMap.com has it covered.
That always left the sour taste.
Got it.
What the hell happened with the Houston Rockets? Just more disappointment. Again, at 104, the Thunder are not going to score points. 104? Last night in the NBA was such a split, was such a dichotomous night in which you had Another underperforming, underachieving effort by the Houston Rockets in a close-out scenario where that game was gift-wrapped. All they had to do was just hit shots. That's it. Oklahoma City was not keeping up. If they put up 110, 115, OKC doesn't get an extra 6 or 8 points out of tempo. That was it. That was all they could muster. And you just barely cracked the century mark against the team that last time out shot themselves in the foot faster than flexible bursts in a nightclub.
The second level with Aton Shander, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
The second level.
Whose last name would you take as your own if you had to pick one? Asman, Viziri, or Shander?
What's that?
Not Aspen.
Ron Asman?
Was that you or the promo?
You have to go Tony, right? Ron Shander.
No, I guess it wasn't.
Real estate agent, Ron Desiri or Ronnie D.
Ronnie D is great. Tony D, Ronnie D. You guys are a couple of brothers out there.
The second level with Aton Shander, weekdays.
Wow, this is a crazy story. You see this about the Magic? Decided to wipe out their entire radio crew and simulcast their TV broadcast. Oof.
It's the second level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Aton Shander.
Now, we normally close out with one for the road. You are back, so I'm sure you had a bunch of stuff this morning you didn't get to that spills over in this case, right? Or no? Was it just Odell Beckham that you guys talked about for 2 hours?
No, I'm trying to stay as far away from that Odell story as possible.
Well, I had to at least bring it up.
I know. I mean, this is the best way to bring it up is just saying, hey, guys, this Odell story just really stinks.
Good one. Good one. That
It really reeks.
I'll let you keep going as much as you could throw in here. Now, do you have anything non-Odell for one for the road?
Hold on, we're gonna get first-hand knowledge real quick. Okay.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
I have Jose in here who roomed with Jake in Miami.
Oh, my goodness. This is beautiful. Now, is Jose aware of the promo that ran?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, first off, thank you for spending a minute or two. I know you have a busy day. Hopefully, Matt Peralta isn't fuming that you're talking with us instead of helping to prep the show, but we need you on here for some clarification. Is Jake Asman as bad of a roommate on the road as the promo that he himself gave us indicates?
I'll leave you with this nugget. So we were all in Miami, right? Remember, you were on that trip as well. And I had vitamins. I tried to take care of myself. And Jake was complaining about not being able to sleep. So I told him, oh, just take some of my melatonin that I brought. I come out of the restroom, and he's chewing on my multivitamins.
What? So not only does he commandeer the outlets and the AC, but he steals vitamins? He's stealing your Flintstones vitamins? What is wrong with this guy? Unbelievable. I'm speechless. I need a full 22 hours to decompress from hearing that info about Jake. That's great. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. We might have to kill the segment after that. There won't be any topping it. I love it. I love it. That's exactly right. Beautiful. All right, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks. You too. See you guys.